Imagine yourself in a moment of your life where everything seems to be falling apart around you. Do you know that feeling of being in such deep darkness that it seems impossible to find a way out? Perhaps you have felt lost among doubts and fears, not knowing where to turn. But what if I told you that even in the darkest moments, there is a light capable of guiding us to a path of peace, strength, and wisdom? This light, my friends, comes from ancient teachings that have traversed centuries to reach us. I am talking about Stoicism, a powerful philosophy that helped me transform darkness into an illuminated path of self-knowledge and resilience. Today, I want to share with you the advice that not only saved my life, but changed it completely. Each lesson I learned is like a star in the night sky, guiding you through the darkness. These are not magic formulas, but simple principles within everyone's reach that can transform challenges into opportunities for growth. These lessons are not just words, they are the compass that guided me when I felt most lost, and I believe they can do the same for you. Now, if you are new here, please like the video and subscribe. Statistics show that only 15% of my audience is subscribed to the channel, so if this content has helped you in any way, I ask you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Now, let's start this transformative journey together. Advice 1. Set boundaries. In the journey of life, we all face moments when the weight of the world seems to fall on our shoulders. Often, this weight does not only come from our own struggles, but also from the expectations, demands, and problems of others. This is where the first piece of advice shines like a beacon in the dark. Set boundaries. Setting boundaries is not about building walls or pushing people away. It is about recognizing the value of your own space, time, and energy. It is an act of self-love that allows us to take care of ourselves so we can take care of others more effectively and sincerely. Imagine a garden, your personal garden. Without fences, anyone can come in and out, trample the flowers, and leave trash. Boundaries are these invisible fences that protect your garden, allowing you to decide who enters, what stays, and what must go. In everyday life, imposing boundaries might look like saying no to a friend who constantly asks for favors without considering your time and well-being. It could mean choosing not to answer a work call during family dinner, preserving that sacred time to connect with those you love. It also means knowing when it is time to step away from a conversation that drains your energy, guarding your inner peace. But how do you set these boundaries? It starts with self-awareness, recognizing what you value, what you need, and what you cannot tolerate. Then it requires communicating these boundaries clearly and kindly, saying, "I need some time alone to recharge," or "I prefer not to discuss this topic," are ways to assert your boundaries without hurting others. It can be challenging at first, especially if you are not used to saying no. You might worry about what others will think, whether they will see you as selfish or indifferent. But remember, setting boundaries is a sign of respect for yourself and others. By clearly defining what is acceptable to you, you teach others how to treat you while respecting their needs and boundaries. The benefits of boundaries are profound. You will start to notice more space in your life, space to grow, explore, and most importantly, breathe. Your mental and physical health will improve as you are less exposed to stressful situations and toxic relationships. Perhaps most significantly, you will develop a deep sense of self-esteem and self-respect, knowing you have the power and right to take care of yourself. But setting boundaries is not just about saying no, it is also about saying yes. Yes to more quality time with family and friends who truly matter. Yes to opportunities that align with your values and dreams. And most importantly, yes to yourself, your peace, and your growth. In the end, setting boundaries is a journey of self-knowledge and self-affirmation. It is about learning to listen to and respect your own needs as much as you respect those of others. So, as you walk through life, remember the importance of protecting your garden. Cultivate it with love, respect, and above all, clear boundaries. This is the first step towards a fuller, more peaceful, and authentic life. Advice 2. Respect the journey of others. This advice delves into emotionally complex and deeply enriching territory, respect for the journey of others. Every person we meet carries a unique story marked by struggles, joys, defeats, and victories. These stories, like rivers flowing in different directions, are sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, but always moving. Respecting the journey of others means recognizing and valuing these individual rivers, understanding that each of us is on a personal journey of discovery and transformation. In practice, this means listening more and judging less. Imagine yourself on an ordinary day, crossing paths with a coworker who seems distant or irritated. The immediate reaction might be one of judgment or frustration, especially if their behavior affects your own mood or workload. However, by remembering that each of us faces invisible battles, you can choose an approach of compassion and empathy. Perhaps this colleague is dealing with deep personal issues about which you know nothing. By offering a listening ear or simply space for them to be themselves without pressure to explain, you are respecting their journey. Respecting the journey of others also means celebrating their achievements without envy or resentment. In a world driven by social media, where everyone seems to be constantly reaching milestones and living peak moments, it is easy to fall into the trap of comparison. But remember, what we see online is just the tip of the iceberg. Behind every smiling photo is an untold story of effort, sacrifice, and sometimes pain. When a friend shares an achievement, genuinely celebrate with them, recognizing that their success does not diminish your own. By doing so, you cultivate a mindset of abundance, acknowledging that there is enough space for all of us to shine. Furthermore, respecting the journey of others involves giving them space to grow and change. People evolve. Their beliefs and behaviors transform over time. This can be challenging, especially if the changes affect the dynamics of a close relationship. However, giving space for others to rediscover themselves is an act of unconditional love. It means saying, "I respect who you are now, even if it is different from who you were before." This acceptance opens doors to deeper, more meaningful relationships based on honesty and mutual growth. But how can we practice this respect in our daily lives? It starts with the intention to be more open and curious about others' experiences without needing to correct, fix, or judge. It involves asking open-ended questions and truly listening, not just waiting for your turn to speak. And perhaps the most challenging part requires us to confront our own biases and assumptions, recognizing that each person is a world with their own perspective and truth. The impact of respecting others' journeys is immense for both the giver and the receiver. This respect creates a culture of empathy and understanding where people feel seen, heard, and valued. This, in turn, promotes a sense of community and connection, vital elements for our emotional health and well-being. Ultimately, respecting the journey of others is an invitation to see the world through a broader lens, one that acknowledges the beauty and complexity of the human experience. By embracing this perspective, we not only enrich our own lives, but also contribute to a more compassionate and understanding world. So, as you follow your own journey, remember the transformative power of extending this respect to others, celebrating every step, every struggle, and every victory along the way. Advice 3. Finding peace in solitude. This advice dives into a deeply personal and universally relevant dimension, finding peace in solitude. The idea of solitude carries many stigmas, often seen as synonymous with isolation or sadness, something many try to avoid at all costs. But what if we rethink solitude? What if we see it not as an emptiness to be filled, but as a sacred space for growth and introspection? The truth is, the peace found in solitude is one of the most enriching and transformative experiences we can have. Modern life, with its incessant demand for our attention, be it through work, social media, or social commitments, rarely leaves us space to breathe, to truly be with ourselves. However, it is in this space, in this quiet, that we can connect with our deepest thoughts, our emotions, and most importantly, our true selves. Finding peace in solitude means embracing silence, allowing yourself to feel everything that comes with it without rushing to fill it. It is during these moments, perhaps on a quiet afternoon with no plans or a solitary walk, that we begin to hear our own inner voice. This voice, often drowned out by the noise of daily life, carries the answers and insights we seek about who we are and what we truly want from life. The practice of spending time alone is not about isolating yourself from others. On the contrary, by connecting deeply with ourselves, we are better equipped to connect more authentically and meaningfully with those around us. Solitude teaches us to be our own company, to find comfort and joy in our own presence. This, in turn, reduces the pressure to constantly seek external validation and companionship, freeing us for healthier and more balanced relationships. But how can we begin to find this peace? The first step is to demystify solitude, seeing it as an opportunity, not a sentence. Start small, setting aside moments in your day to be alone without distractions. This can be as simple as turning off your phone for an hour, meditating, reading a book, or even sitting quietly, observing nature. The goal is to be present with yourself, giving space for your thoughts and emotions to flow freely. It is also important to learn to be comfortable with your own thoughts, even the challenging or uncomfortable ones. Often, we avoid solitude because we fear what we might discover about ourselves in the silence. However, facing and accepting these aspects is crucial for our personal and emotional growth. True peace in solitude comes when we accept that being alone does not mean being lonely. It is a conscious choice to nurture our well-being and discover the richness that resides within us. As we cultivate this inner peace, we realize that it makes us more resilient in the face of adversity, more creative in our expression, and more compassionate in our interactions with others. Finding peace in solitude is ultimately a journey back to oneself. It is an invitation to explore the uncharted corners of your soul, celebrate your own company, and most importantly, recognize that you are enough. As we embrace this practice, we not only transform our relationship with solitude, but also pave the way for a fuller, more conscious, and deeply connected life. Advice 4. The courage to be imperfect. The fourth piece of advice calls for authenticity and self-acceptance, the courage to be imperfect. We live in a society that idolizes perfection, inundating us with images and narratives of immaculate lives, uninterrupted success, and unattainable beauty. But deep down we know that this pursuit of perfection is a never-ending race, a constant source of anxiety and dissatisfaction. Here, against the current of this tide, we find a liberating principle. Beauty and strength lie in imperfection, in the authentic, in the truly human. The courage to be imperfect is not an invitation to complacency, but a call to embrace our complete humanity, with all its flaws, mistakes, and vulnerabilities. It is understanding that growth and learning arise not from what we do perfectly, but from the times we fail, get up, and try again. Imagine the last time you hesitated to try something new, fearing you were not good enough, or when you harshly criticized yourself for a small mistake. This is the moment when the courage to be imperfect becomes vital. Instead of drowning in self-criticism, you can choose to say, "It's okay not to be perfect. I am learning, growing, and that is what really matters." In daily life, practicing this lesson can start with simple steps, such as allowing yourself to be vulnerable with someone you trust, sharing fears and insecurities without the constant veil of self-editing. Or it could be trying something new without worrying about external judgment, focusing on the experience itself, not the outcome. This lesson also teaches us to be kind to ourselves, to practice self-compassion. Remember how you would talk to a dear friend going through difficulties. You would probably offer words of encouragement and support, not criticism. Why not offer the same to yourself? The courage to be imperfect also helps us build deeper and more meaningful connections with others. When we show ourselves authentically, vulnerabilities and all, we give others permission to do the same. This creates a safe space for true intimacy, where masks can be set aside and human connections can flourish in their purest form. But perhaps the most transformative aspect of this lesson is how it allows us to redefine success and happiness. They are no longer distant goals conditioned by the absence of flaws, but states of being that we embrace throughout our journey with all its twists and turns. Accepting imperfection is an act of rebellion against the unrealistic expectations the world imposes on us. It is a powerful declaration that our true essence cannot be measured by external standards, but by the courage to be who we really are, imperfections and all. Therefore, as we navigate the complexities of life, let us remember that perfection is a mirage and that our true strength lies in the ability to embrace imperfection. This is the courage that frees us, the courage to be imperfect, authentic, and ultimately deeply human. Advice 5. Say goodbye to the past while respecting it. The fifth piece of advice takes us on a journey of reconciliation with our past. Say goodbye to the past while respecting it. We all have a past. It is the complex tapestry of experiences, choices, triumphs, and challenges that have shaped us up to this moment. However, we often find ourselves trapped in a cycle of regret, anger, or nostalgia, unable to move forward. The key to freeing ourselves from this cycle is not to forget or deny the past, but to honor it as an essential part of our journey, learning to say goodbye in a way that respects the lessons it has brought us. Saying goodbye to the past while respecting it means accepting that although we cannot change what happened, we have the power to choose how these experiences define us in the present and future. It is recognizing that every mistake, every heartbreak, and every disappointment taught us something valuable about ourselves, others, and life. In daily life, this lesson can manifest in various ways. It can be as simple as performing a farewell ritual for a chapter of life that is closing, whether by writing a letter that will never be sent, planting a tree in memory of a lost loved one, or even physically decluttering objects that tie us to a past that no longer serves us. You have now reached the halfway mark of the video. I congratulate you for trying to become a better version of yourself, and I also humbly ask you to leave a comment, as it helps my channel immensely. Now, I usually ask you to write mind over body, but if you're really paying attention, comment greater every day. Let's see how many of you have really reached this point. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Also, I've linked some books on Stoicism that helped me become the man I am today, and will also help you achieve a Stoic mindset. At the same time, respecting the past means forgiving others, yes, but more importantly, forgiving ourselves. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting or excusing what was done, but releasing the weight these memories carry, allowing us to move forward with more lightness and peace. It also involves cultivating gratitude for past experiences, even those that caused us pain. Each one contributed in some way to our strength, resilience, and wisdom. Instead of fixating on what was lost or what could have been, we can choose to focus on the growth and opportunities that arose from these challenges. However, saying goodbye to the past does not mean we must forget it completely. On the contrary, by honoring and respecting our past, we can integrate it into our story in a healthy way, allowing it to coexist with our present and future without dominating our thoughts or actions. This helps us live more fully in the present. When we are no longer bound by the chains of the past, we can embrace each moment with a new sense of freedom and possibility. Life becomes richer when we are not constantly looking back, but living with our whole being, focused on the now and what is to come. Saying goodbye to the past while respecting it is ultimately an act of letting go and accepting our stories with wisdom to extract the lessons they contain, and the faith to believe that the best is yet to come. By doing so, we not only free ourselves from the ties that bind us, but also make space in our hearts and minds for new stories, new joys, and new possibilities. Therefore, as we look back, let us do so with kindness and understanding, knowing that every step, every detour has brought us here. And with this respect for our past, we can take the next step in our journey with confidence, ready to create a future that is truly ours. Advice 6. Embrace impermanence. As we move forward to the next piece of advice, we explore a vital principle that illuminates our path in our journey of personal growth and well-being. Embrace impermanence. To live is to navigate an ocean of constant changes. Everything around us, including ourselves, is in a perpetual state of transformation. Accepting this truth, the impermanence of all things, is both a challenge and an invitation to embrace life in its fullness, with all its transitions, goodbyes, and renewals. Impermanence may at first seem like a daunting notion. After all, we are beings who naturally seek security and stability. However, it is in the acceptance of impermanence that we find true freedom and peace. Understanding that nothing is fixed helps us value the present moment, appreciate the people and experiences in our lives with a new intensity, knowing they are temporary. In everyday life, embracing impermanence means living with the awareness that each encounter may be the last, that each experience has its time, and that each goodbye opens the way for new beginnings. This is not an invitation to pessimism, but to a deeper appreciation of the ephemeral beauty of life. For example, think of the last time you said goodbye to a friend, knowing it might be a long time before you see them again. This awareness of temporary separation can make the time together more significant, the conversations deeper, and the hugs tighter. Similarly, when we accept that our own states of being, our feelings, thoughts, and even our identity are always changing, we can free ourselves from the pressure to be an immutable version of ourselves. This allows us to grow, evolve, and adapt more gracefully to the waves of life. Embracing impermanence also teaches us to deal with loss more resiliently. Each loss, whether of a loved one, a job, or a phase of life, brings pain and sadness. However, by recognizing that loss is a natural part of life's cycle, we can find comfort in the idea that new doors will open, even if we cannot see them at the moment. Moreover, this understanding encourages us to act with more kindness, compassion, and presence. Knowing that nothing lasts forever, we are urged to resolve conflicts more quickly, forgive more easily, and express our love and gratitude more often. Finally, embracing impermanence is a reminder that we are all connected by the same human condition. navigating the same uncertain waters of existence. This recognition can unite us, promoting a sense of solidarity and mutual support in our shared journey. Therefore, by embracing impermanence, we not only learn to navigate the changes of life with more balance and openness, but also discover the hidden beauty in transitions, goodbyes, and new beginnings. It is an invitation to live fully, love intensely, and walk with the lightness of knowing that, although everything changes, each moment is a precious opportunity to be alive, learn, and grow. Advice 7. The present is a gift. The next step in our journey of self-knowledge and personal growth takes us to a powerful principle. The present is a gift. In this fast-paced world, we often find ourselves caught between memories of the past and worries about the future, forgetting to live in the present moment. Our advice here is a simple yet profoundly transformative reminder. The only moment truly within our reach is now. Recognizing and embracing the present as a gift is the key to a full and meaningful life. Living in the present means being fully engaged with what is happening now, not just physically but with our whole being. It means paying attention to the small things, such as the feeling of the sun on our skin, the taste of our food, or the sound of a friend's laughter. These moments, though small, are incredibly precious because they are the true essence of life. One of the biggest challenges to living in the present is our tendency to let our minds wander. We are often so consumed by our thoughts that we miss the beauty and opportunities right in front of us. Practices like meditation and mindfulness can be incredibly helpful for training the mind to focus on the now, helping us cultivate a deeper appreciation for the present. In daily life, practicing living in the present can be as simple as taking a conscious pause during routine activities to truly notice what is around us and what we are doing. This might mean turning off electronic devices during meals to truly savor each bite or enjoy the company of those with us without the distractions of the digital world. Living in the present also allows us to release many of the worries and anxieties we have about the future. When we focus on the now, we understand that many of the scenarios that concern us may never happen. And even if they do, we realize that we have the capacity to face them when and if necessary. This does not mean ignoring planning or preparation for the future, but finding a healthy balance where the future does not prevent us from experiencing the joy and gratitude available in the present moment. Additionally, being present allows us to build stronger and more meaningful relationships. Being truly present with another person is one of the greatest gifts we can give, showing that we value and appreciate their time and company. This creates a space for genuine connection where communication and understanding can flourish. Finally, living in the present helps us recognize the impermanence of each moment, which paradoxically makes each experience even more valuable. Knowing that this moment is unique and will not return, we are encouraged to live it fully with gratitude and presence. Therefore, by embracing the present as a gift, we open our hearts and minds to the richness of life unfolding at each moment. It is an invitation to slow down, breathe deeply, and celebrate the journey of life one moment at a time. Advice 8. Cultivate gratitude daily. As we reach the final stage of this journey of transformative advice, we encounter a fundamental truth. Cultivate gratitude daily. Gratitude is more than a fleeting feeling. It is a powerful practice that can transform our perspective on life, bringing light even in the darkest moments. By cultivating gratitude daily, we learn to recognize and value the blessings, both large and small, that permeate our everyday lives, transforming the way we experience the world around us. At its core, gratitude teaches us to focus on abundance, not lack. In a society that often incites us to want more, be more, and have more, Gratitude calls us back to simplicity, to the recognition of the many ways we are already fortunate. It can be something as simple as being thankful for the food on our table, the roof over our heads, or the presence of a friend. These moments of appreciation create a wave of positivity that can uplift our spirits and those around us. Practicing gratitude also has the power to change our mental and emotional state, contributing to greater life satisfaction, better mental and physical health, and deeper and more meaningful relationships. When we focus on what we have rather than lamenting what we lack, we cultivate a sense of liberation. To incorporate gratitude into your daily life, start with simple practices. Keeping a gratitude journal where you note 3 things you are grateful for every day can be an excellent starting point. These do not need to be grandiose. Often, it is the small things that carry the most meaning. Additionally, taking a moment to mentally give thanks during the day, perhaps during a coffee break or while working on a project, can help keep this sense of gratitude alive. Gratitude can also be expressed through actions, like saying thank you more often or writing thank you notes to those who have made a difference in your life. These gestures, though small, can have a profound impact, both for the giver and the receiver, strengthening bonds and spreading positivity. Finally, cultivating gratitude allows us to face challenges and adversities with greater resilience. By focusing on what we are grateful for, even in the midst of difficulties, we can find the strength to persevere, reminding ourselves that despite everything, there is always light to be found. Thus, as we conclude this series of advice, we invite you to adopt the practice of daily gratitude as a pillar for a fuller and happier life. By doing so, we not only enrich our own lives, but also touch the lives of those around us with a spirit of abundance and joy. Cultivating gratitude daily is ultimately a way to recognize and celebrate the beauty, abundance, and wonder that exist in every moment of our journey. Now, if any part of this message has been helpful to you, leave us your like and comment, helping the algorithm recommend it to someone who needs it at this time. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss new videos. And if you look through the videos we've already uploaded, you're sure to find something to take with you. Have a good day. Have you ever found yourself caught in the emotional web of toxic people? It's like walking through a minefield, right? Every step can trigger an explosion of negative emotions. But don't worry, because in this video we'll explore 15 smart ways to deal with toxic people using the principles of Stoicism. Now, if you are new here, please like the video and subscribe. Statistics show that only 15% of my audience is subscribed to the channel, so if this content has helped you in any way, I ask you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Now, let's start this transformative journey together. Are you ready? 1. Recognize the importance of self-awareness. Self-awareness is like a flashlight in the darkness of the human mind. This quote, attributed to writer and philosopher Alan Watts, highlights the importance of understanding who we are and how we interact with the world around us. When it comes to dealing with toxic people, self-awareness becomes an invaluable tool. It involves being in tune with our emotions, thoughts, and behaviors, allowing us to recognize how interactions with toxic people affect us and how we can respond more effectively to them. As Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, "Know thyself," suggesting that self-understanding is the first step toward personal growth and wisdom. When we are aware of our own emotional reactions to others' negativity, we can make more conscious decisions about how to handle the situation. The next time you face negativity, take a step back and ask yourself, why does this bother me? What can I learn from this? These questions are not about making excuses for others, but about reinforcing your own mental strength. Take a moment to understand that this path will not be free of obstacles. Self-awareness and navigating through the smoke of others' negativity is not an easy task. There will be days when it seems easier to simply react and return what was thrown at you, but that is a fleeting victory, one that feels empty because it betrays who you are. Each time you choose to respond rather than react, remember that you're not doing it because it's the easy option, but because it's the right one for you. It's about building a fortress within you, not from arrogance, but from a place of strength and calm. It's not about ignoring negativity, but about recognizing it without letting it define your actions. So, embrace the challenge. It sharpens you, makes you more resilient, and in the long run, undeniably stronger. 2. Cultivate your emotional stability. Emotional stability is like an anchor that keeps you firm in the midst of the storm. When you find yourself surrounded by toxic people, it can sometimes feel like you are walking through a dense fog, where each step feels uncertain and clarity fades. But what if I told you there is a way to clear the fog? It starts from within, through the strength of emotional stability cultivated by Stoicism. Think of that person who, no matter the chaos, is never perturbed, like a mountain that stands firm against the furious storm. This is not about being indifferent or cold. It's about recognizing that the only thing truly under our control is how we respond to the external world. Stoicism teaches us that our power lies in our reaction, not in trying to control the uncontrollable. So, when we face toxicity, we analyze our inner Stoic. Instead of getting involved in the drama, we pause. It's like being in the eye of the hurricane. Everything is wild outside, but here it is calm. This space allows us to breathe, think, and then act from a place of rational serenity. It's about shifting the focus from what's happening around us to how we're going to let it affect our inner peace. And how do we do it? By practicing mindfulness. Yes, it's mentioned a lot these days, but here's the real trick. It works. Mindfulness allows us to detach, to observe the chaos without getting caught up in it. It's not about ignoring the toxicity, but about recognizing it without letting it dictate our peace. It's realizing that just like the clouds in the sky, these moments will pass. So the next time you find yourself in the midst of negativity, remember that you are the architect of your peace. Build strong. 3. Establish healthy boundaries. It's not about building an impregnable wall, but about choosing which doors to open and when. This selective openness doesn't make you less of a person. It makes you the curator of your own space. Imagine your energy as a limited and precious resource, like water in a desert. Each interaction you participate in is like giving a sip of that water. Would you prefer to give it to someone who sows seeds in your desert, making it flourish, or to someone who lets it evaporate under the scornful sun? Establishing boundaries is about investing your energy wisely, not with arrogance, but with the quiet resolve of a Stoic who knows his worth and the value of his time. It's about calmly communicating. This is where I draw the line, because your peace is not up for negotiation. So, let's move forward with this mindset. See each day as an opportunity to paint your masterpiece, to invest your energy where wonders grow. Remember that respecting yourself enough to set boundaries is not an act of aggression. It's an act of self-respect and wisdom. Start today, not by cutting people out, but by outlining where your garden ends and the wilderness begins, and watch how the landscape of your life transforms. 4. Control your negative internal dialogue. Surprisingly, the way we talk to ourselves when dealing with toxic people can be our armor or our Achilles heel. Think of your mind as a garden and each thought about yourself as a seed. Planting seeds of strength and resilience helps us stay strong, but if we add doubts and fears, those toxic weeds begin to smother everything good. But that's just part of the story. Walking away is not always an option. And that's where the ancient wisdom of Stoicism comes in. It's not about what happens to us, but how we react to it. Stoicism enlightens us that true strength lies in our reactions. Therefore, as we navigate through the turbulence of another person's negative influence, carefully monitor the conversations you have with yourself. Instead of asking yourself, "Why do I have to deal with this?" consider reflecting on, "How can I grow stronger from this encounter?" You can cultivate resilience, empathy, or the courage to maintain your boundaries. Changing your perspective is not just playing with semantics, it's reclaiming your power. Another tool at your disposal is that small but powerful act. Call it detachment. It's not cold, it's not indifferent. It simply chooses wisely where your energy goes. Imagine someone's negative comments as arrows. Now, if your self-esteem is an impenetrable shield, those arrows can't reach you. This doesn't mean you won't feel the sting sometimes, but remember, those arrows can only hurt you if you allow them. So, take a moment to reflect. How often do you allow external negativity to influence your internal dialogue? Controlling this doesn't mean building a fortress around your heart. It's about knowing your worth, understanding that your reaction is your power, and sometimes simply deciding not to give up your peace. Stoicism is not about an existence without emotions, but about choosing which battles are worth your heartbeats. Remember, the only person you truly have control over in this life is you. 5. Manage your energy intelligently. Navigating the turbulent waters of interactions with toxic people can test even the calmest minds. But let's turn the lens inward and explore the concept of energy intelligence as our compass. Think of your energy as a protective barrier, much like a wall of an ancient city, something that preserves your peace and keeps out unwanted negativity. Consider for a moment the power of choice in these situations. Just as you decide what fuel to put in your car, determining its performance and longevity, you have the power to select how to react and relate to individuals who drain energy. Responding with patience and understanding, or choosing simply not to engage at all, can be your super fuel, optimizing your emotional well-being and keeping you on a stable course. This is not about avoiding conflict. It's about arming yourself with wisdom and making decisions that are aligned with your peace. Leveraging this intelligence goes beyond mere self-control. It's about creating a space around you that is so grounded that not even the most powerful storm can shake your foundation. Like a tree deeply rooted in the earth, you are immovable, not because the wind doesn't blow around you, but because you've mastered the art of bending and swaying with it, without breaking. This strength and flexibility will disarm toxic energy, leaving it with no choice but to dissipate or move on. 6. Focus on your personal goals. Focusing on personal goals is like lighting a beacon in the middle of darkness. When you find yourself surrounded by toxic people, it can be easy to lose sight of your goals and allow their negativity to divert you from your path. However, by focusing on your goals, you create a kind of shield that protects you from distractions and helps you maintain mental and emotional clarity. Imagine you're sailing a ship in the middle of a storm. The waves are high and the wind blows fiercely, but you have your internal compass, your goals. These goals act as an anchor that keeps you firm in the midst of the tempest. When you focus on what you truly want to achieve in your life, the negative opinions of others fade in comparison to the determination you feel to reach your dreams. Furthermore, focusing on your goals helps you maintain a long-term perspective. You can recognize that the temporary challenges presented by toxic people are just obstacles on your path to success. Instead of allowing them to discourage you, you see them as tests that strengthen you on your way to your higher aspirations. 7. Seek support when you need it. Just as a single candle can break the darkness, sharing your struggles with someone who understands can illuminate paths you didn't see before. These are the people who add strength to our determination, not by fighting our battles for us, but by reminding us of the power of our own mental strength. Imagine having a wise elder in your corner, offering advice drawn from a well of experience. That's the kind of invaluable support that can help us navigate through toxicity with grace. To tap into the Stoic strength within us, we need to know when external perspectives can help us. It's about understanding that, while we can't control the actions of others, we certainly can control our reactions to them. Through the art of Stoicism, we learn to detach, to see the situation from a higher perspective. It's like zooming out on a map to find alternative routes we might have overlooked while focused on details. By seeking support, we allow ourselves the space to breathe, reflect, and choose our responses carefully, ensuring they align with our values and our inner peace. Now, take a moment to think about your own encounters with challenging individuals. How have you navigated these waters? Have you tried to do it alone, relying solely on your strength, or have you sought that supportive perspective that could change everything? Remember that the true mark of a Stoic is not in silence or solitary suffering, but in knowing when and how to engage the wisdom around us to navigate the path with greater ease and understanding. You have now reached the halfway mark of the video. I congratulate you for trying to become a better version of yourself, and I also humbly ask you to leave a comment, as it helps my channel immensely. If you do not know what to comment, just write mind over body so I know you reached this far. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Also, I've linked some books on Stoicism that helped me become the man I am today and will also help you achieve a Stoic mindset. 8. Adopt solution-oriented approaches. This approach sets the stage for transforming these interactions into opportunities for personal growth and emotional intelligence, rather than sources of frustration. As you can imagine, changing the script in toxic encounters requires creativity. It's like playing chess. You need to think several moves ahead, anticipating reactions without getting emotionally involved. This means listening more than you talk and responding calmly. A trait admired by many, but mastered by few. This strategic creativity allows you to maintain your peace and not be dragged into the chaos. Adaptability in these situations is your best friend. It's the ability to maintain your values while navigating the challenge of interacting with difficult personalities. Imagine you are a tree firm in your roots, but flexible in the wind. You sway, but do not break when faced with the winds of adversity. This resilience strengthens your character and equips you with the tools to face any storm. I invite you now to reflect. How do you react when faced with negativity or manipulation? Remember that the presence of toxic people may not be under your control, but how you respond is. Remember that in the grand scheme of things, it's not the obstacles we face, but how we overcome them that defines us. 9. Recognize false cordiality. On the path of dealing with toxic people, it is essential to be aware of the signs of false cordiality. As Marcus Aurelius once said, it is an act of folly to deceive yourself by avoiding being aware that someone hates or despises you, but even more foolish is to be deceived into believing that someone sincerely loves you. To detect false cordiality, it is important to pay attention to certain indicators of insincerity in interactions with others. Remember that the true mark of a Stoic is not in silence or solitary suffering, but in knowing when and how to engage the wisdom around us to navigate the path with greater ease and understanding. Common signs include superficial gestures, excessive flattery, and behaviors that seem forced or unnatural. Observe if the person's words and actions match their body language and expressions, as incongruence can be a revealing sign of falsehood. Also, be on the lookout for any sudden changes in voice tone or attitude, as well as a lack of consistency in their behavior over time. By recognizing falsehood in interactions, you can protect yourself from negativity and cultivate relationships based on authenticity and genuine trust. Remember that true kindness needs no disguises, and it is preferable to surround yourself with people who are authentic and sincere in their actions and words. Now, a word from our sponsor, the Genius Wave. Tap into the ancient wisdom of Stoicism and the cutting-edge breakthroughs of modern science with their unique brainwave optimization program designed to enhance mental clarity, focus, and cognitive power. As supported by extensive NASA research, this program revitalizes the often neglected theta brainwave, fostering profound learning and intuitive insights. Discover how embracing the Stoic virtues of self-control and wisdom can be amplified through neuroscience, allowing you to access untapped mental reserves. By clicking on the link in the comment section, you not only journey towards personal growth, but also gain exclusive access to this transformative tool. Unlock the secrets to heightened brain function. Don't let this opportunity pass. Embrace the Stoic path to a sharper, more resilient mind today. 10. Practice emotional detachment. As we have mentioned before, emotional detachment is like a journey toward inner liberation, a journey where we learn to separate our emotions from the actions and words of others. It's like watching a play from the stalls. We can appreciate each scene, each act, but we don't allow ourselves to be completely absorbed by it. This ability allows us to maintain calm and mental clarity, even when faced with toxic people or challenging situations. Emotional detachment, as described by Eckhart Tolle, author of The Power of Now, is essential for maintaining inner peace amid outer chaos. Tolle reminds us that detachment doesn't mean you shouldn't own anything, it means that nothing should own you. This perspective urges us to free ourselves from the need to control or cling to the emotions and actions of others. By practicing emotional detachment, we can cultivate a sense of inner freedom and a greater capacity to respond serenely to toxic people and difficult situations. When we practice emotional detachment, we are strengthening our inner self, building a fortress that protects us from the emotional storms that may arise in our environment. As the Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu said, "Water is fluid, soft, and yields to the obstacle. Yet there is nothing more powerful than water, nothing that can withstand it." Similarly, by learning to flow with emotions and situations without clinging to them, we find an inner strength that makes us invincible in the face of adversity. In summary, emotional detachment gives us the freedom to be ourselves, to stand firm in our truth without letting the opinions or actions of others define us. It's a journey of self-discovery and empowerment that allows us to find inner peace amid outer chaos. 11. Cultivate compassion for yourself. In the labyrinth of human relationships, we often forget that we must also direct compassion toward ourselves. When dealing with toxic people, it's easy to fall into the trap of self-criticism and doubt. However, cultivating compassion for oneself is like watering the seeds of self-acceptance and self-love. A phrase from author and psychologist Carl Rogers invites us to reflect on this fundamental aspect. Self-acceptance is the first step toward personal improvement. By recognizing our imperfections and embracing them with compassion, we build a bridge to a healthier relationship with ourselves and ultimately with others. Practicing compassion for oneself does not mean ignoring our weaknesses, but acknowledging them with kindness and working to grow from them. Instead of judging ourselves harshly for our failures, we learn to treat ourselves with the same understanding and patience we would offer to a friend. This compassionate approach to oneself allows us to navigate the turbulent waters of toxic relationships with an armor of authenticity and kindness. It's a reminder that we deserve love and respect, both from others and from ourselves. 12. Prioritize your self-care. Self-care is fundamental when it comes to maintaining mental and emotional health, especially in challenging situations with toxic people. Taking time to care for your physical, mental, and emotional well-being strengthens you and provides the energy needed to face challenges with a clear and resilient mind. As RuPaul says, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else? Prioritizing your self-care allows you to establish healthy boundaries and maintain a positive attitude, which helps you navigate successfully through difficult interactions. An important part of self-care is learning to identify and manage stress. Toxic people and challenging interactions can generate a considerable level of emotional stress, and it's crucial to have tools and techniques to manage it effectively. This can include breathing practices, muscle relaxation techniques, and activities that help you disconnect and recharge your energies. Additionally, self-care involves cultivating healthy and nourishing relationships in your life. This can mean surrounding yourself with people who support, inspire, and encourage you to grow. By setting clear boundaries with toxic people and actively seeking positive connections, you are strengthening your support network and creating an environment that fosters your emotional well-being. Therefore, remember that self-care is an essential part of maintaining mental and emotional health, especially in challenging situations with toxic people. By prioritizing your well-being and adopting practices that promote overall health, you are strengthening your ability to face challenges with calm, clarity, and resilience. 13. Avoid getting involved in unnecessary discussions. Choosing your battles wisely is advice as old as time, but it has never been more relevant than in today's world, where every interaction can feel like a minefield. When dealing with toxic people, it's like navigating a maze in the dark. You never know when you might run into a wall. The key here is not to charge against every wall you encounter, but to feel your way around and decide which paths are worth taking. Some conflicts are simply dead-end energy drains, with no exit or treasure at the end. Recognizing this can save you many headaches. You might be surprised to find that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is not react at all. Silence can be stronger than any word you could throw into the fray of battle. When toxic people direct their negativity toward you, they are often looking for a reaction, any sign that their words have impacted. By choosing not to participate, you take the wind out of their sails. It's not about ignoring the problem, but about choosing not to let it control you. Your energy is precious. Spend it wisely. Be wary of the trap of trying to change someone's toxic behavior by arguing or reasoning with them. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. It only feeds the flames. Instead, ask thoughtful questions to encourage them to see the situation from a different perspective. It's about shifting from confrontation to conversation. This approach won't always work, and that's okay. The goal is not to win every battle with them, but to maintain your peace and dignity in the process. Remember that everyone is fighting their own battles, some of which you don't know about. By practicing patience, you give yourself time to respond instead of react. This doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise. Remember that being stoic is not about being emotionless, it's about not letting your emotions control you. It's about choosing where to focus your energy, knowing that not all battles are yours to fight. So, the next time you face a potential discussion, take a step back, breathe, and ask yourself, is it really worth it? 14. Practice forgiveness. Forgiveness is an act of liberation that allows you to let go of the resentment and bitterness that can arise from interactions with toxic people. While it can be difficult to forgive those who have hurt you, doing so frees you from the emotional weight you carry with you. As Nelson Mandela said, forgiveness liberates the soul. It removes fear, which is why it's a powerful tool. Practicing forgiveness does not mean justifying the harmful actions of others, nor forgetting the harm caused. Rather, it's about recognizing your own power to free yourself from suffering and move forward with your life. By forgiving, you allow yourself to let go of the attachment to past pain and open yourself to the possibility of experiencing greater inner peace and emotional well-being. Additionally, forgiveness gives you the opportunity to establish healthy boundaries in your relationships. By freeing yourself from resentment and anger, you can set clear boundaries with toxic people and protect yourself from future harm. As C.S. Lewis said, forgiveness empowers you to maintain a positive and constructive attitude, even in the midst of challenging difficulties. While it may require practice and time, forgiveness is an act of self-compassion that allows you to heal and grow. By freeing yourself from the weight of the past, you can open yourself to new opportunities and healthier relationships in the present and future. 15. Value yourself. Finally, I want to remind you of something important. Your worth is immense and unique, and no one can take it away from you. Sometimes, in the midst of chaos and interactions with toxic people, it's easy to forget how incredible you are. But here I am to remind you, don't let the opinions of others define you. You are who you are, and that's what makes you special. As Brené Brown says, the only difference between brave people and those who are not is that brave people have the courage to do it, even though their inner voices tell them not to. So yes, you may have difficult moments, but each one makes you stronger and braver. Your worth is not determined by the judgments of others, but by your own perception of yourself. So stand up, shake off those doubts, and remember how incredible you are. You have a unique value to bring to the world, and no one can deny that. You are capable of facing any challenge and overcoming any obstacle that stands in your way. You are worth a lot, and never forget that. Now, if any part of this message has been helpful to you, leave us your like and comment, helping the algorithm recommend it to someone who needs it at this time. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss new videos. And if you look through the videos we've already uploaded, you're sure to find something to take with you. Have a good day.